I'm here with Søren Krogh, CEO of Columbus. You just released your Q3 24 figures this morning, 8% growth, kept your guidance. Actually quite good if we look at the Nordic IT sector to be able to deliver that. Can you tell me a bit about what is driving that? Because if I look at it, looks like a little bit of a different composition on what was driving your strong momentum in the first half.
Yeah, some things remain the same and some things are a little bit new. So I would say in terms of geographical split, we still continue to see some of the same themes developing. So we have very strong performance in Denmark and the UK, and we are slightly more challenged in Sweden and Norway. That remains, although we actually do start to see some positive signs of a market recovery, particularly in Sweden, which will be interesting to follow in Q4 and Q1 next year. Then some of the new things that have developed are relating to our efficiency. So the measure we use to say how much of the time we have available are we able to turn customer facing. And I would say the change there is that since 2021 we've achieved sort of a continuous improvement again and again and again, and that stopped in Q1 2024. That's the first time we went a little bit backwards, the same in Q2. We've now stopped that development. We're on par with Q3 last year in terms of efficiency percentage, and I'm expecting us to improve further in Q4. So that's, I would say that's the new thing for me in the Q3 report compared to Q2.
And I also saw the data and AI segment was actually one of the high growers and a little bit down in dynamic after a strong period. The data and AI are companies starting to adopt AI. And is this a precursor for bigger projects? I guess data and AI is a segment where you might be analyzing and trying to figure out how you could help companies, and then maybe bigger projects later, or is that correct?
Yeah, so they're doing well. We added some new leadership, and I think the new leadership team is also performing well. It consists of different parts. So we have a part pertaining to what I would call more old school automation, and more old school business intelligence, if we call it that. And then it also has the new elements of AI, generative AI, which also resides in that unit. And I think the interesting thing for us at the moment is to see the role we play when big software partners of ours, that could be Microsoft, that could be Infor, they release new functionality into these platforms, makes it available to our customers. But it still doesn't get adopted by itself. There's an effort needed, and we are a big part of that effort. So I do expect that the business unit to grow further.
You touched a little bit on the efficiency, the most important measure. How much can you send your employees out and bill customers? That was actually a little bit flat. You are stabilizing it, but your margin went almost 200 basis points, 7.9 EBITDA versus 6 point last year. Are you seeing some of the levers or the measures you took in your new Heights strategy plan that is focused in on that? Is that what you are seeing, starting to see the measures if you don't move efficiency?
Yeah. So some of the levers are definitely working, and what we're seeing is that despite of the efficiency being flat, as you say, and we will then see if we achieve an improvement in Q4, we've still achieved an increase in our EBITDA margin. So I would say that is derived from a better contribution margin. So the direct cost carried by each project compared to the income it generates has been improved, and that is in a number of fronts. But our hourly rates are improving when we work for the right customers, right industry verticals, right size of customer, right project size. Quality has improved. When we improve our quality, we don't have to redo the work. So that has improved. The way we use subcontractors has been improved. A number of factors have been improved. And now what we need to do is combine that with a true improvement in the efficiency margin, and then have the both of them combined to see the full effect.
You kept your guidance. You're well within it in your first 9 months, but you kept your guidance, and it looks like a little bit of a tough market out there. Why are you so comfortable that you are not seeing anything in the end of year, and what are the drivers into end year?
I'm never comfortable, but I would say so. What drives some level of comfortability is the continued performance of Denmark and the UK. What makes Q4 a little bit more exciting for us is that these turnaround signs that we're seeing increased activity level. How quickly can we turn that into sort of substantial business, like not just one project or two new projects? So we can see a slight uptick in Swedish performance, but something that's really profound, something that drives our group numbers up. And I think we're seeing that, but it has to come through. And then it's a timing aspect of it. You know, how much can we achieve in Q4 and how much will it run into Q1? The thing is, with big projects like the ones we work on, there's a mobilization time from the decision being taken by the customer to say, okay, let's do this. You know, we engage, and then there's always a roll-on period. We can't start with the full team from day one. It's always, almost always a question of, you know, a few people have to start, you know, getting things organized, mobilizing customer side, our side, other suppliers, and then gradually the teams will ramp up to full effect, and that takes a while. So the question is, how much of that effect can we see in Q4? How much of it will spill over into Q1? And that's what makes the.
So it's not that you are seeing the business climate suddenly getting better, or it is the same. Is it where you are also talking, like most of the sector, about prolonged decision processes by clients, but you also sounded a little bit optimistic also last quarter in Sweden, but in this reporting you still talk about, you know, in general, this prolonged decision process by companies.
So we have to look at the data the way, you know, the way it is, and then some of it becomes a prediction and some signs that we're seeing, and definitely the business climate is still like it has been for the first 2 quarters, but I would say that we do see more and more of these indicators. So my primary weather barometer to look at for Sweden is the digital commerce department that we have up there. So these guys provide e-commerce solutions both toward retail but also business to business, and they're very exposed to the Swedish market. So they are also in some of our other markets, but they're very big in the Swedish market, and they're also very exposed to the retail industry, obviously. And the retail industry we perceive as being the hardest hit. So that's the one we look at to turn around the fastest. It's also the one that's the most susceptible to the interest rate cuts that they're doing. So we're following that very closely. We can see a definite pickup in our pipeline. So much more activity from our customers, you know, early stage. All right, we consider a project like that. How could we go about architecture-wise? What's the costing look like? What are the benefits, etc.? And those phases have to be dealt with before you can generate a big project. Nobody goes straight into a big project, you know. So the more of these we have, the better the indicators are for an upswing at some point. And then going back to what I said before, can we make some of this come true in Q4, or will it pertain to Q1?
Thank you, Søren.